This is SBS World News with Janice Peterson.
Good evening. London is still anxiously waiting on news of hundreds of people unaccounted for since yesterday's high-rise inferno. More than 30 hours after the Grenfell tower erupted in flames, families are searching hospitals, using social media, posting signs across the city in desperate attempts to locate loved ones. So far, 12 people are confirmed dead, but police are warning that number will rise and could rise dramatically. SBS reporter Ben Lewis is outside the tower in West London and he joins me now live. Ben, what's the latest there from authorities?
Janice, we've just heard from the Commissioner of the London Fire Brigade. She says that sadly there will be no survivors found inside the tower. At this stage, they still don't know how many people perished in the blaze. They won't know for certain until a fingertip search of every floor of the tower can be conducted. That has been delayed because structural engineers are now saying it's no longer safe for firefighters to go into the outer edges of the building. There are reports of entire families missing after a fire, which many people here are saying could have been prevented. A blackened ruin on the London skyline. How many dead remain inside still isn't clear. On the streets below, people waited for news of friends and family they hadn't heard from since the blaze began.
It was just terrible, it's horrific, you know. I've got friends in there and they're still on a missing list now.
My mum, my sister, her daughters and her husband. Yeah, they're all still in the building. Well, I don't know if they're out, I don't know, because we don't know any information.
This video was posted to Facebook from inside one of the flats.
Hello, come here. Come here, hello? Hello? Come. Quick.
He's made a rope from his blankets.
Other desperate residents were seen making ropes out of bed sheets. There were remarkable stories of survival.
A lady appeared at the window, gesturing, body language. From what she was saying, I'm about to throw my baby, please catch the baby. And the baby, I think, was wrapped in some sort of bed sheet blanket, and she threw the baby as the baby came down. And this was about approximately from the 9th or 10th floor. A member of the public, a gentleman, ran forward and miraculously grabbed the baby.
Throughout the day, trapped residents were still being spotted.
What floor are you on? Huh? 7, yeah?
I saw somebody there waving in a white...
in a white shirt?
Yeah, white shirt, yeah.
He was rescued at noon, 11 hours after the inferno started. Once the building's concrete frame was declared structurally sound, firefighters conducted a floor-by-floor search.
They were hampered for some time by a fractured gas main, which was really difficult and challenging for the utilities to be able to isolate. That obviously, as you can imagine, created quite significant hazard.
They made it to the top of the building looking for more survivors. They found none. There is grief, but also considerable anger about how a tragedy like this could occur in modern-day Britain, in a building home to some of society's most vulnerable. During recent refurbishment works, new cladding was placed outside the decades-old council housing tower.
It's a year old, but that stuff was just going up like ball to a match, you know. It was just, woof, it was just spreading straight away, and it was all flying off, and people screaming up at their windows, get us out of here. It was horrific. The firm responsible for the renovations insists all relevant standards were met, but questions remain about the lack of alarms and sprinklers.
Once the recovery is complete, then an investigation will take place into the cause of the fire and if there are any lessons to be learned.
Residents have been told to follow a stay-put policy in the event of a fire.
If I listen to the advice given to me by the fire brigade and also by the TMO management team, we could be dead.
It's the local MP's first week on the job, and she wants answers.
I'm asking for a full inquiry, so we'll see what happens. That's in my mind. We have a lot more to do today, and as I say, priority is looking after people, making sure they know that they're okay, that they're secure, and they can sleep somewhere tonight.
There are many volunteers and helpers.
Acts of resilience and faith saw the community pull together in the shadow of a building hundreds called home, but none will ever return to. The community response to this tragedy has been remarkable. For more than 24 hours now, we have seen people carrying huge bags full of water, of food, phone chargers, masks for faces and clothing. People giving everything they can for those who've been left with nothing.